Big Frida. Mark Foster, you know him from Foster the People. Taylor Goldsmith here from Dawes. And Michael Kiwanuka. So, I guess let's start, Taylor. You played this festival in what's not even a tent. It's a tiny little beer garden, I guess. And now you come back and you're playing big stages, and it's got to feel good, right? I mean, this is how the festival thing is supposed to work.
Yeah, it's incredible. Bonnaroo was actually the first festival that agreed to letting us play when we did that 2 years ago, and even just even though we played to, like, at that point, like, 200 people or 300 people, like, it was such a it was a real, like, game changer for us, just in the fact that we had gotten to do that, and all of a sudden it really opened certain doors for us. So I feel like sometimes, like, the power of what a festival can do for a small band like us is so far beyond the 45 to 60 minutes to 90 minutes that you're actually on stage.
It's even bigger than the people you're in front of, because now they know Dawes played Bonnaroo or Dawes played Lollapalooza, and that gives it some air of credibility,
right? Yeah,
in itself.
Totally, yeah. And at the festivals and then away from the festivals, like, people would come up and, like, oh, you're playing Bonnaroo this year, that's why I'm interested in your band. But then also, I feel like with every festival, because it has each one has its own unique personality, because of that, the regular going fans really take ownership of the band. And if you've played more than 1 year, it's the kind of thing where people are excited to see the relationship between the band and the festival, and what happens next time they're here, and I feel like that there's, like, a little bit of a story in that.
Mark, I mean, Foster the People played some big festivals last year, and really this is sort of the victory lap, I guess. How has festivals changed your business? I mean, and to come in with a radio hit like you have.
Well, I think it's different, playing a festival just gives a band an opportunity to play in front of a lot more people than they normally would do in a club, so I think for us, it's helped, because there's the thing about festivals, a lot of people buy a ticket for the headliner or whatever that may not be a fan of your band, but they're like, oh, but I heard about them and I'm not really doing anything right now, so I'll go check them out. So it's like you have an opportunity to convert people that might be on the fence into a true fan. So we've gotten to play in front of a lot more people, I think, in the 10 or 15 festivals we played in the last year than the 100 club shows, if you add it all up.
Do you approach these festival gigs differently than the shows that we know they're Foster the People fans?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, well, for one, we don't normally get, as long of a set list as we get in the club, so we have to kind of figure out what we're going to play, and depending on the vibe of the festival, we'll kind of determine, what songs we put on our set list. For instance, playing, like, Reading and Leeds are kind of typically rock and roll festivals in England, so, we play kind of a heavier set list and cater to the fans a little bit, so, yeah, definitely, and other than that, I think there's a different stage persona that you need to step into when you're in front of a lot of people as opposed to in front of a few people. You can't. I'm not going to go up there and, like, tell some intimate story about how I wrote a song about my grandmother, around 1994 Christmas time around the tree or whatever. It's like, it's more just like, hey, get up! Like, the crowd is like, you can pretty much, like, not even say anything, in English. If you just go, ah! People will just, like, cheer. So it's like that crowd mentality changes.
That's got to be a weird power to have, though, right?
Yeah, it's a weird power to have, and it's also, like, it's at the same time, with any crowd mentality, I'm also very aware of the fact that the crowd can change in an instant, too, if you say the wrong thing. You can have, like, 50,000 people cheering for you or 50,000 people booing, depending on how you act. I try not to. I don't want to be the guy that, incited a riot by saying the wrong thing. So, there's a respect.
Frida, one of the amazing things about Bonnaroo is that people are